One of the most crucial skills that a person can acquire in their lifetime is dealing with transitions, moving through transitions, whether it's an ending of a relationship, a beginning of a new one. Are you there giving all of yourself away to those new beginnings, new projects? Maybe it's a loss of a job, maybe it's a physical death. How are you doing with transitions? Are you there moving with grace and centeredness and groundedness? Are you clear enough and centered enough to be able to make good decisions? Or are you completely getting lost and trying to regain that old version of you that doesn't exist anymore? In this video, I share with you how to move through transitions and one most important skill that will help you do this. Because once you do the thing that I'm about to share with you, everything changes, and I'm going to share with you exactly how to do that. So let's dive right in. Oh, the number of people that come to me because of transitions, because an old version of them no longer exists and the new one is not born yet, and they're trying to go back to that old version, to the way things were, even though you can't go back there. And also, the truth is, we idealize the past. We romanticize, like, oh, it was so great then. Was it though? Were you in this? Life's amazing and everything's perfect. The odds are no. We're still focusing on the lack. But today's video is not about that. Today I'm sharing with you the one most important skill. The secret really to transitioning in this beautiful, powerful, grounded, centered way. How do we do that? So first I want you to tune into your breath as you're inhaling in, tuning into new life, and you're exhaling out, welcoming in death. And again, inhaling in. And again, noticing this moment dying right now. Noticing how transitions are happening every single moment of your life. How do we move through them with grace, with power, with strength? I want to illustrate this with a story. The other day, I was watching 4Kids, and we went our separate ways to meet at the playground, and I went one way, they went the other, and by the time I met them, they're running to me with the eldest boy holding something in his hand. As they get closer, he opens his hand, and in it is a teeny tiny, like freshly hatched little baby bird. And oh gosh, in that moment, I wish I had a time machine for them to never find that bird. I want a time machine to tell them, no, you guys are coming with me, you're not taking that path, so that they would never find the bird. Because the poor thing is screaming for its life, it's opening its mouth that it's hungry, and there's no way to feed it. I looked up online what we can do, but the truth is that it was not going to live, and they didn't know it. And there came the process of letting go and the concept of death and transition. The person that from 4Kids, one took it the hardest. And it was really beautiful to witness because it was actually the eldest boy, because there's that, the masculine has this protector and provider energy. And the truth is, what is a protector and provider if they don't actually understand what they're protecting? We can protect and provide from a place of duty or obligation, right? That's my mission, that's what I'm supposed to do. But how can you protect a heart if you have never had your heart broken? And so understanding the depth of why you serve what you serve. And so it was really beautiful to witness as the oldest boy felt this the strongest, and he picked up the bird and he wanted to save it so bad. And as he was going through this, I asked him 3 questions. The first, I explained all these shamanic practices, but the big takeaway were 3 questions. The first, I asked him, what is the opposite of death? And he says, living. That is a mistake, a common mistake that even many adults make. And I said no. The opposite of death is birth. And both death and birth are part of life. And this is what we do. We antagonize death. We see it as opposite of life. The second thing I asked, or rather pointed out to him, I asked, why do you have a judgment and expectation that if the bird lives, it's good, but if it dies, it's bad? And it links to the first question, right? But the second question in itself, when we're going for quantity versus quality, right? The quantity of life versus quality, we also often judge relationships. Oh, how long have you been together? Not going into the quality of the relationship. How long have you been at this job? How long have you been doing this, hobby, or someone I know was doing dance. Like, how long have you been doing that? And people are like, whoa, that's impressive. Like 15 years. Nobody asks, how has that been for you? Why do you do it? Oftentimes we stay in things out of habit or to prove something. That's not necessarily quality. And so we're not allowing those depths, we're not allowing those transitions, and we feel like it's success because of quantity and not quality. And the third question I asked was, with that judgment, or rather, the first question I asked was, do you know why you're sad? And that links to the first question and the second question. Because when we have that heaviness, I was holding him there in my arms, and he was feeling this so strongly and feeling so sad for the bird. The reason that we feel strongly, we have this sorrow, we have this fear, we're holding on to something like a relationship or a job or something important in our life for our dear lives. And we feel fear, we feel sadness, we feel grief. Those heavy emotions are a sign that life does not feel about it the way you do. It's out of alignment. Because when you feel alignment, you feel good, you feel ecstatic, you feel blissful. And so the judgment from the second question, I told him, you judge the bird living as good and it dying as bad. Life, God consciousness, does not judge death as bad. It's not sad about it. The bird was focused into this physical body, and then it won't be anymore, and that's fine. And here you are as well, and at some point you will die, and that's fine as well. Life is in constant movement. The part of you that just focused in the body, and that then will not be focused in the body anymore because there will be no body to be focused on. Life isn't sad about it. But when you feel the heaviness and you feel the sorrow and you don't feel good. And our bodies are miraculous in such a way that they were built to tell us. We feel emotions. We know when something feels icky, like a contraction, or when something feels really good, like an expansion. Our bodies are built in such a way to feel when we're in alignment or out of alignment with life. And so, from these three questions, the reason I'm sharing this with you is to shine light on the fact that the most important relationship, one of the most important relationships, two important relationships. One is with death, and the other one is with birth. This video, we're focusing on the death one, though. How are you doing with transitions? What is your relationship with death? Is it, oh no, I'm afraid of it, let's try to avoid it, let's not talk about it, let's move through it as fast as possible? Or is there a deep honoring? Is there a letting go? Is there so much gratitude for the parts of you that had to die in transition, and creating space and welcoming in and getting so clear through the transition, through the death, getting so clear on the birth that will follow? The problem is not the problem. The problem is how you address the problem. So the endings, are not the problem. But when we're terrified, when we're holding on to that past version of ourselves, of that past job, that past relationship, and we're not allowing energy to move through and we're creating stagnation, that's a problem. Because stagnant waters get contaminated. So taking a deep inhale in. What are you hearing me say? Let me know down below in the comments. How are you doing with transitions? What is your relationship with death? And even some of these things, because we try to, sneaky, the spiritual ego does this heaviness around it. Oh, but I'm sure it served a purpose. But there's an energetic cord still attaching to that past experience that we then need to justify so that it's not as painful. We need to justify, like cover it up with this little band-aid of like, oh, I'm sure it had a purpose. Like that was so painful, but it had a purpose. That is a sign that we have not fully let go of it. Because reality is in the present moment. Whenever you take in out of the present moment into the past or into the future, it is your mind racing because it does not feel safe enough to be here now. Now, this is a deeper topic and these are deep tools. This is what I do with one-on-one work. This is also what we do in Thrive in the membership. If you want to get on a free clarity call, that's also in the description. Noticing though, can you allow more ease in the body? What would creating the death of all this heaviness, what would it feel like in your body if you're actually to let go? And the second part of this would be, are you allowing the birth? What would more ease, more spaciousness, more well-being feel like in your body? And what would it look like in your life, expressed and embodied fully? There's a free resource down below in the description. Check that out. I am leaving you here with this. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm wishing you a powerful week.